If I had an OnlyFans, I would thank you for the free promo, but alas, I do not. This is why I shouldn't be reading your conversations. When Daisy's talking about OnlyFans, that's when it's my cue to start the next topic, which is Mr. Breast. Mr. Breast is confused, I think. I say that, but I'll temper it, okay? But let's dive into Mr. Breast for a moment, okay? Just enjoy this ride with me for a moment. So, Mr. Breast, here we go. He's been going through it with his companies a little bit, okay? He's got Feastables and MrBeast Burger, which MrBeast Burger is probably the most famous operation that he's embarked on, okay? He's opened a physical location. He's advertised it aggressively in videos. And, yeah, not everything is really, working as well as he would have liked. MrBeast, from what I understand, sued or was trying to break off the contract with MrBeast Burger. And MrBeast Burger, the company behind it, which I will get into, has counter-sued him or just sued him for like $100 million, which is crazy. And I hope that company burns to the ground. But I'll get into it. Okay, first of all, I want to talk about some stuff I've seen him say about Feastables, which is his chocolate bar brand. And I have not tried Feastables yet, okay? I have tried MrBeast Burger. I've done that on stream with friend of the show, JJ McCullough, and J-Reg. And the review was not good, okay? I thought it was bad, personally, for me, okay? I think I only ate the fries, and the fries were so mid, and other people ate burgers, and the burgers looked real mid. Long story short, there's a lot to get into. So let's start with what he has said about the truth behind chocolate monopoly from Mentality Madness.
Chocolate for the last 100 years, especially in America, has been owned by 4 companies. And like no one has been able to get in there. It's like Hershey's, Mars, Lindt, and Ferraro. And it's kind of like monopolistic almost. Like if you have a successful chocolate company, they'll just buy you or just like bully you so you don't get shelf space. And so these guys like just own all the chocolate space and they don't innovate. Like a Hershey's bar to me just tastes like, it tastes very processed. And our chocolate sells like crazy compared to every other chocolate company. People who never would have bought chocolate in Walmart are walking to the chocolate aisle specifically.
So I want to temper what he just said there with the fact that what he described, right? Company being monopolistic, the chocolate industry companies or whatever, being monopolistic and just buying competition and, basically ousting any competition that doesn't agree to be purchased. I think he might be a little bit confused because he seems to be framing this as though this is like a uniquely kind of corrupt space, the chocolate monopoly. In reality, this is actually how mass scale business works in general. Like super obviously the case. The most famous example is this beautiful website that you are watching this on right now. YouTube, owned by Google, owned by, Alphabet, the, corporate overlords, whatever you call it. Alphabet does pretty much the exact same thing as what is being described here, okay? They will aggressively purchase any new technology that could potentially challenge them in the domains that they are trying to branch out into, right? There's a lot of artificial intelligence branches they're going into. Obviously, translation, Google Translate, Google Maps. There's just so many. Google has their hands in a fuck ton of fields and different little niches. And anytime that there is a serious competitor to their company, they will try to just acquire the company. And there's fucking tons of famous examples of them just buying companies, a lot of the times just to destroy them. This is also a thing. Just buy, especially with emerging technology, a lot of the time, if they're a looming potential threat, or maybe if they, maybe they're just talented, right? Talented individuals, Google will purchase their company, either destroy whatever tech they were working on, undermine it, because sometimes these are technologies that would actually undermine Google's businesses, right? Like, potentially fuck up their profit margins. If you make things a little bit too easy, sometimes that's not ideal. And yeah, you can basically smash it up, take the talented people, have them work at Google under other projects, Facebook does this aggressively as well. Obviously, more famous examples of what, Apple, of course, does this. There's just, yes, sure, you could say plenty of examples of companies doing this. Microsoft. This is the way, bro. Once you are basically a industry giant, what the fuck do you do to maintain your status as the giant? You just buy the competition. It sounds like a meme, but it's literally like the reality. You are now seeing this with Microsoft with consoles, okay, video games. They have been losing the console war kind of badly, the last decade. Sony was just getting a lot better exclusive games. They focused a lot more on specifically having good games, whereas Microsoft is more focused on like a holistic experience, which didn't translate too well to consumers. And now what's Microsoft doing? They're prepping for the future, and they are buying a ton of IP, okay? They have already successfully bought Bethesda, which is massive. I believe that there was rumblings that they would buy Activision Blizzard, among other companies that they are taking a look at. And like, what does this result in at the end of the day? The competition that Microsoft experiences against Sony can absolutely provide the consumer with a better, product or whatever you want to say. But in the long term, this kind of, behavior, once Microsoft regains their control or whatever you would say, their market ownership, right? They can easily just flip a switch and now suddenly, oh shit, oh, okay. So now that they have a solid chunk, this is no longer ideal for the consumer. Okay, this is basically the strat. In general, the consumer gets fucked when there are less and less options. And so MrBeast is, I guess, positioned as an outsider. The thing is like, I want to see what exactly his chocolate company is doing differently. And there are claims that he's doing stuff differently, so we're going to get into that. Okay, so let's see.
Specifically to buy Feastables.
You're creating a new market.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm bringing new customers to the aisle. So we are way overdue for infinitely more shelf space.
So there's probably like some politics involved in that too, of like the
I don't want to get into that.
No, but I'm saying the Hershey.
I love that shit. MrBeast's like, I don't want to get into fucking politics, bro. So he was claiming that he was bringing new people to Walmart, which is probably cap. Maybe, but realistically, whatever, stimmed out kid is gonna go to Walmart and buy a Feastable, sorry. Jesus, MrBeastable, sorry. But yeah, realistically, whatever kid was gonna go to Walmart it's like the deciding variable isn't, Mommy, let's go buy the Feastable. It's like the kid was already at Walmart with his mom and he's like, oh, Feastable, I've seen that on YouTube, you know what I mean? So he might be a little bit, sucking his own cock there, which makes sense, okay? I think he's confused, but it's possible that he is just, conscious that he's doing, he's advertising, he's promoting his company, which, again, makes sense, right? So let's see what he has to say.
His Walmart relationship is probably legacy. Yeah, it's old, right?
There are some interesting stories there.
Okay, so long story short, MrBeast has gone on a run of shitting on Hershey specifically. We'll watch this real quick.
Hershey chocolate bar,
which is horse.
Ranking every single Feastable. Almond.
Oh my god.
So spot.
Ranking.
I'm gonna buy a Hershey chocolate bar,
which is horse.
Or a Feastable.
Great.
And the Hershey is gonna go to what? What is that gonna go to?
Some rich guy.
Some fucking rich dude.
Yeah, that rich guy.
Can't do it.
Buy Feastables every moment.
I love that. Yeah. So like the advertising that MrBeast has basically gone into on podcasts and stuff like that is for him to shit on Hershey's and to say, position himself as an underdog, we're just like a humble upstart, whatever. Obviously, MrBeast is also a rich fella. The thing is, he is obviously not as institutionalized as a, Hershey executive or whatever. So it is a bit different. Here we go. Let's watch this.
I just launched a chocolate bar.
And this chocolate bar is designed to be a healthy snack. Let's see how healthy.
Wait. I want to watch this one in a sec. Let's watch this one first. Wait up. Here we go. This one. Okay.
And Hershey's bars, they have like Superman on it and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern, all these like characters. And it's like, who the fuck cares? Why? No one would buy a goddamn Hershey's bar because it has a superhero on it. And I think like just a lot of modern snacks, they've just been here forever. They're kind of boring. Honestly, I think Hershey's bars just taste like shit, to be honest. And yeah, they just have the shelf space and no one really competes with them. And I think it's time someone just comes in there and it's like, shut up, you boomers. Like, make new products and innovate, or just get the fuck out of here. And Hershey's.
Interesting. It's interesting that he's calling upon the chocolate industry to innovate, because I feel like a big part of a chocolate's brand is reliability. You know what I mean? Like they know, what they're getting, right? Like when someone buys a Hershey's, when they buy a Ferrero Rocher, they just know what it's going to be. If he means innovating by like making a new gimmicky fucking flavor or whatever, these chocolate companies do that. They absolutely do that. If he means like innovating via marketing, maybe he has a point there. But again, that doesn't really discount the quality of the chocolate or anything. Though, I will say, I had a Dutch roommate who, might or might not be in the Hong Kong series. Yes, he was my roommate in Hong Kong, my boy. And he, being Dutch, these fucking Europeans, he told me expressly that Hershey's chocolate bars, the first time he tried it, it actually tasted like puke, like vomit. He was like, he was literally like, what the hell am I eating? And this is something that I've heard, and it's actually like an urban legend, but also kind of a thing where people say, if you have like a European palate, because the Europeans, they have like such, high standards around chocolate, right? Because it's all, artisanal, a lot of it, or the brands are at least a little bit more higher scale, whatever. That apparently if you eat Hershey's, they use different ingredients that are like, cheaper, of course, but it's also like just a kind of fundamentally different recipe that makes it taste like potentially like vomit. So I did want to read these real quick. Hershey's is the worst, and it literally has an acidic/vomit taste to it. No exaggeration, I guess this could be evidence that people's taste buds are really that vastly different. In that case, every one of you on this planet are weird. The common theme is apparently the US add a chemical, and anyone outside the US aren't used to it, and that's why. After work, I'm going to get some Hershey's and give it a try. I will try to embrace your weirdness. If I throw up, it's America's fault. It's not the best chocolate out there. There are even big name companies that have better tasting chocolate, but it's fine. I can eat it. That's like the biggest cope I've ever heard. It's so funny. It's like, yeah, it's dog shit, but I like the taste of it. It's good enough for me. But yeah, this is funny though. It's just like tons of art, like random ass Reddit posts where it's like, Hershey's chocolate's fucking disgusting. I'm from Europe. Czechia. My father has been to multiple business trips to many places all over the world. Japan, India, Romania, UK, you get it. Every time he brings some local candy for us to try. Japan has weird Kit Kats, etc. It all tastes so good. But recently, he has been to the USA. And he brought Hershey's chocolate bars. And that shit tastes like fucking puke. I am not overreacting. It tastes like actual puke and even smells like puke. Better eat some good European chocolate because fuck that. And so yeah, this guy says the cookies and cream one is pretty good though. I agree the normal chocolate isn't as good. I like the cookies and cream Hershey's chocolate bar. That is the one chocolate bar that I have fond memories of as a kid because they like put actual chunks in it, and I like to suck Mr. Breast. I'm such a boy, bro, but I put the cookies and cream Hershey's chocolate bar in my mouth, and then I like to wait for the white chocolate to melt, and then it's like a bunch of cookies in my mouth, and then I crunch them. Yum. Anyway, and then here's an explain like a 5. Why does American chocolates taste so bad in comparison to the likes of the UK chocolate? Basically, people just saying like it's because of European chocolate, the different ratios of sugar and cocoa and other ingredients. You've been eating chocolate that tastes a certain way your whole life. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely eat Hershey's chocolate. It's not the best, but it's edible. And so, Mr. Breast, we now go to someone reviewing his product. And a lot of the people who review his product are certainly kind of, sucking him off. But let's just see what this guy has to say. I do like the kind of framing around the chocolate, okay? I don't necessarily like how MrBeast is framing it as if he's fucking changing the world, making the world a better place or whatever. Just like for the chocolate, you know what I mean? Because it is chocolate you're selling, But yeah, like he's talking about kids going and eating the chocolate at Walmart as if that's like humanitarian. It's like, okay, I mean, no. It's just you're selling product. But I do like how they have, you can see on each chocolate bar, there's a little section that you're supposed to share or whatever. That's kind of cute.
Healthy it actually is. So for
Oh,
starters,
sorry.
which one?
I just launched a chocolate bar.
And this chocolate bar is designed to be a healthy snack. Let's see how healthy it actually is. So for starters, it's a chocolate bar. Compared to all the other popular ones out there, it's the lowest in total sugar.
One thing that was really core to Jimmy's, like, I don't want to be selling like sugary candy to kids.
What better way to test it out than with...
That also sounds like cope. I don't want to be selling sugary candy to kids. But you're selling candy that's sugary to kids. Like, if you say it's, I guess it has the lowest sugar or whatever, but that doesn't mean it's not sugary. Does it make sense? Anyway, it's fine.
This thingy I've got on my arm, it's a continuous glucose monitor, and it'll tell me exactly how my body responded to this specific meal, the bar. I ate the entire thing. So it scored a 6 out of 10, and I'd say this is a win from me, man. I think you're definitely going in the right direction. So it gets the thumbs up from me. Oh my god, this is so good.
Alright, so the review seems to be that the chocolate tastes good. I don't fucking know. I haven't tried it yet. You know what I have tried? MrBeast Burger. And, yeah, unimpressed. And it seems like Jimmy has been unimpressed as well, okay? Because the company, MrBeast Company, is suing him for 100 million bones. Alright? It's in response to MrBeast's suit against Ghost Kitchen Company Virtual Dining Concepts, which is famously the company that Eddie Burback heavily detracted in his own video, pretty legitimately in my opinion. And so yeah, MrBeast has basically taken a pretty public stance saying like, yeah, fuck that company pretty much. And so VDC now is suing him, saying that he didn't deliver on their contractual obligations, including publicity, promotional work, failing to publicly support MrBeast Burger, making untruthful and disparaging statements. VDC says that Donaldson's actions have caused enormous financial harm and that the burger restaurant's reputation was destroyed. Now this is probably a good time for me to disclose the fact that MrBeast Jimmy is a personal friend of mine. He follows me on Twitter, so, take everything I say with a grain of salt. But I believe that this company's dog shit. And the fact that fucking MrBeast has decided to kind of say bye-bye to them, it kind of makes sense to me. This case is about a social media celebrity who believes his fame means that his word does not matter, that the facts do not matter, that he can renege and breach his contractual obligations without consequences. He is mistaken. That's very grandiose sounding language, my friend. Yeah. Why are people spamming no's? Virtual kitchens are kind of spooky. Has anyone seen Eddie Burback's video on them? Yes, we watched it on stream. Long story short, though, Jimmy has taken a pretty fervent stance, saying, if I had the ability to close MrBeast Burger, I would have done so a long time ago, sadly. Sometimes when you're young, you sign a shit deal, which is basically MrBeast consensus. He's saying like, I got fucking swindled when I was a young little pup by this dog shit company, and now it's ruining my brand. And yeah, that is pretty much the gist. Okay. And so I did want to watch a little bit, just quickly with you guys, the MatPat video that basically is breaking down how MrBeast Burger is failing. Okay. I do want to mention, because MrBeast Jimmy's a personal friend of mine, follows me on Twitter, I genuinely have interacted with him, unironically. And I remember specifically, I was trying to decide how I felt about this guy. And he is, let's just be clear, he is a individual who's hyper fixated on growing his business. He, though, does do good, okay? Not through all the endeavors he does, and he definitely leans on the fact that he does good to kind of, you know, as like a bit of a shield, right? Like he's kind of puts it in your face a little bit, whatever. But I remember when I was talking to him, and he was just starting this YouTube channel, Beast Philanthropy, and it had, I think, like maybe 1 million subs, something like that. It was very early. Like it was literally, the first video was out. So this is 2 years ago now. Wow, time flies. And now it's got 17 million subs. And I was amazed because it was basically a literal like food pantry incentive type system where he was trying to feed like entire cities of people who needed food, right? And I was like, yeah, this guy, he doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to do that. Certainly it helps his brand that he does it, right? It's always obviously, you know, centered around MrBeast. But his goal, he was stating, was to make it so that Beast Philanthropy basically is a self-sustained, you know, charity organization, right? So like these videos, they get literal like 20 million views each, that all of the money that he makes from these videos will then go back into these charities, right? And it seems like it's been massively successful. I was super, when he first described it to me, this is in like a Twitter fucking group chat, so just for your knowledge. But yeah, when it was first like written out or whatever, I was like skeptical, okay? His first video got about 6 million views or whatever, at the time maybe 4 million. And I was like, fuck, can you really continue feeding like massive amounts of like a whole community on like a mass scale and whatever? And he was saying it only cost about $100,000 to feed like a whole city for, you know, again, it was like he was giving packages of food basically, feeding a city in need.
Today we're going to be packaging and delivering 28,000 meals for a city in need. Now I'm gonna
Yeah, so he was saying that this cost about $100K roughly. And he was saying like this is definitely, we can definitely continue doing this. This is replicatable. And I was a little sussed out because I was like, is like 6 million views enough to do that? I don't know. Clearly, over time, it's proven this guy, he's got the fucking Midas touch. This shit has been working, you know, and that's obviously a good thing. So, yeah. Yeah. And MrBeast has seemingly stopped selling dog shit burgers. Seemingly. I mean, MrBeast Burger's still operating, right? But he is trying to dissociate himself from selling dog shit burgers to kids. Now he's selling chocolate to kids. Not great, but could be worse, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to show, like, the guy's not evil. He's not evil. He's not an evil fella. But he is self-interested, okay? He is hyper-focused on competition, you know, growing his business to be as big as humanly possible. He's not a saint. He's a human being. And he could be a worse human being at that. So, yeah.
I'm going to show you guys what food we're going to be giving each family.
Macaroni, vegetables, cans of soup,
Peanut butter and jelly, beans in an oversized pickle jar, these things and Cheez-Its, giant jar of Miracle Whip. And then we top it off with a case of coconut water. And then we come over to our giant refrigerator and grab a box of fresh food. This is over $100 worth of food. And believe it or not, we're giving this to every single family at the food drive. And
Right, so this was the second video. The first video was not this mass scale. That's incredible, though. That's like a solid amount of food, bro. It's, you know what's actually sad? The real thing that's sad? We shouldn't need MrBeast to do this. And this is the kind of main criticism of his curing 10,000 blind people videos. Is like, yes, it's a good thing. It is absolutely, undeniably, 100 million% a good thing to fucking fund the medical bills of all these people that have very curable problems. but he shouldn't have to. Not even remotely. And in my opinion, again, having talked to him fucking in private, look, it's not crazy for me to say that, but like I remember talking to him once and he was like, literally just came in and he was just like dumbfounded. He was like, why the fuck don't we have healthcare in the group chat or whatever? He was basically saying like, why does America not have healthcare? It doesn't even make sense. And this is where his political blindness becomes very evident. He very much doesn't want to be like political or whatever, but that it's just an obvious thing that will fight and like, you know, be contradicted by his growth or whatever, or his, you know, desire to, I guess, basically improve the world, right? Because it is a very commendable thing that he's doing. He does seem to have a general goal of improving the world, which I also do, but obviously I haven't manifested nearly as much as this individual. And so, yeah, for that reason, yeah, I do put a bit of respect on his name. But the reality is, if you want to give people healthcare, you have to get political, okay? And you need to kind of really take a deep look at some of the wider reasons as to why there is not a publicly available healthcare in the U.S. Mainly that it is obviously massively fucking profitable to have people pay when they are injured, ill, you know, fucked up, right? Aging, you know, these problems that everybody fucking faces, propped up, you know, by industries, obviously like pharmaceutical, everybody, you know, detracts the pharmaceutical industry. But beyond that, there's just tons and tons and tons of businesses, private practices, etc., that literally are predicated on, we're charging a fucking premium dollar to give you the best treatment possible. And if you can't fucking afford it, you just get shittier treatment or no treatment at all, right? In Canada, we are not a haven, a healthcare haven, okay? We absolutely have our own problems. At the end of the day, though, the reason, both in the US and with the problems in Canada, the reason that we don't have, you know, pristine elite healthcare or whatever that is publicly funded is because of the government's fucking refusal to federally print and fund the money necessary to provide people with these services, okay? In Canada, there is a trend of people basically going and, doctors. Doctors will be trained in Canada and then they'll move to the United States because they can make more money at a private practice in the United States because things get charged at a premium, right? And so, yeah, that is reality that Canadians have to face, is that we get a little bit of brain drain in terms of doctors, where I guess the best doctors, you know, that want basically to make more money, they'll move to the US. But yeah, as a general rule, a public option should always fucking be available, and ideally a solid public option that is not underfunded, which is the case in Canada. We do have, you know, healthcare, publicly funded healthcare, but it is massively under fucking funded. And you know why it's underfunded in Canada? It is because a lot of interest groups actively want a private option to become available. Why do they want a private option to become available? I wonder. Because there is massive opportunity to profit from private options, okay? There are businesses that are just salivating, just waiting for the opportunity to charge people at the ass for their healthcare. Okay, and so in Canada, basically how it works is like, if you're dying or you have, you know, illnesses, etc., in general, you will be seen, you will be treated. Okay, depending on the severity, if it's not super severe, you might have to wait extra time. Maybe even if it is severe, you might have to wait extra time. Like I said, it's pretty aggressively underfunded. We do have a lot of problems that COVID exposed, and COVID exposed those problems in the US as well. But in general though, healthcare in Canada it's no fucking utopia. It's not Scandinavia or whatever. Every healthcare problem that I have personally had, I've been charged for. Okay, dental, obviously, I've pretty much I mean, this isn't necessarily about me, but like from my firsthand experience, going to the dentist, it's fucking expensive. Medication, in general, if you're uninsured, right? If you don't have insurance because you don't work at a firm that offers insurance, then you pay for your medication. In a lot of cases, anything mental health wise, you're paying out the ass. Again, this is all shit that, like, in the US and in Canada, if you are employed by a company that has like this insurance, then maybe you'll get some coverage. But like if you're just an individual or you work like minimum wage job, then you have to pay all this shit out of pocket, which again, in terms of especially mental health stuff, like me especially, I was just like, I'm not fucking paying like $200 a session. Fuck that. Physiotherapy as well, right? If you get into an accident, or if you, not even an accident, if you just have like chronic back pain from fucking sitting all day or whatever, and you go to a physiotherapist, you are not covered unless, your worker covers it. Your employer covers it. Yeah, there's just a lot of very, what would you say? There's like a lot of zones that of like health or whatever that are not covered at all in Canada. So yeah. MrBeast, the man's got high fucking potential. He's the same age as me, and he has done so fucking much. I really hope over time he becomes a little bit more politically conscious, and he really does actively advocate for public health care, okay? If he's going to make anything his fucking mission, I would hope that's it, right? It's fucking sick what he's doing, okay? He's, paying for people's treatment. He's fucking, like, trying to make sure that people don't starve, but I think he understands, like, this ideally would not require charity. You know what I mean? So, yeah. We can watch a little bit of this.
He didn't look happy at all. He's just like...
I still get nervous on camera.
Dead serious, 100% of all the ad revenue, brand deals, and merch sales from this channel, Beast Philanthropy, will go into this food pantry. Every view on this channel is literally putting food in people's mouths. Like this.
Is that Sharpie?
Yeah.
Helping people's fun.
You guys get the point, I think. So, yeah. MrBeast is confused. Yeah, kind of. I think he is a little bit. Either that or he's ignorant a little bit, of like the political fucking realities. Both with, his chocolate company, right? Him seemingly framing the chocolate industry as like particularly fucking malicious or whatever. No, that's just business, my friend. But yeah, definitely in terms of charity, I hope that I think he is politically relatively slightly aware, but I think he actively decides not to like ignore a lot of that shit because, let's be honest, he does not want to alienate people, okay? He is a mass marketing type of guy. He wants to appeal to as broad of a fucking audience as humanly possible. And what's the easiest way to alienate an audience, especially an audience that covers literally 100 million fucking people? To say literally anything political, okay? And when it comes to, his, I guess, goal of improving the fucking world or growing his business, which one's he going to prioritize? Probably the business. But yeah, time will tell. Time will tell. In his interviews, he seems to be a relatively honest guy. Relatively. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what happens, really. What do you guys think? You think Mr. Breast is a fucking soulless bag of dirt? Soulless, money-hungry mofo? Thing is, he just cares about money then, not helping people, because he could improve way more of the world than what he currently does. He isn't honest, he's just good at his persona. Damn, Miss P, that's the hypercritical perspective. You want to expand on that a little bit? I want to hear more about your perspective because I'm actually kind of curious. Like, what are you specifically claiming he's makes it clear he doesn't care about helping people? If his business is helping people, it's not that bad, honestly. Yeah, I mean, of course, there could be worse businesses. And he's, like, this is the thing, right? Again, with the curing blind people, there is a criticism to be made. Okay, where it's like, MrBeast, you could have you could have definitely said in this video, like, these extremely curable illnesses should be funded by the government. Like, I shouldn't have to be the guy doing this. That would have been an easy fucking thing for him to say that's political. Easy. Super low-hanging fruit. But in favor of kind of sanitization, you know, and I guess spectacle too. He just did it, you know what I mean? He didn't really, you know, question the more grand implications. So yeah, one person can only do so much. To expect him to be able to change everything or more than what he is now is kind of bonkers. Yeah, I mean, to say bonkers, that's a little bit cap, but like, it's certainly this guy has certainly done much more than you could expect of fucking pretty much any, certainly YouTuber, but even like entrepreneur or whatever you would say, right? I do think encouraging people to go out and help their communities is good, but teach people how to actively help and organize city-based events and stuff. Yeah, he ignores the political change he could promote among his viewers or among politicians with his money and power, yet he just ignores it in favor of broad appeal, which is sad. Yeah. Hey, man, you don't understand. MrBeast is like Lelouch from Code Geass, okay? He's a Machiavellian, but for good. He's building as massive and gigantic of a brand as humanly possible so that in 20 years he can run for president and then he'll make the changes. Or he just won't change anything. But, you know, we'll see. MrBeast is a guy. I am very curious. The long-term trajectory. He has real potential. He has, this isn't controversial to say, but I mean he has like real potential to do very, very interesting changes. You know what I mean? Anyway, what the fuck? Who cares what my opinion? I don't think it's sad to not be in politics. Oreva. Yeah, that's I guess, a common opinion. Like, he has no obligation to be political or whatever. But I think you understand what I'm saying when I say, like, yeah, he could have easily, you know, said, like, it's kind of weird that I have to, like, fucking, like, pay so that these people can not go be blind. But yeah, MrBeast is a YouTuber that just has too much power because money. I think look, people have a fear of power. And I think it's a little bit naive, okay? I think it's a little bit naive. And MrBeast, I don't think he actually has that much power. I think we're a little bit over exaggerating his power level. So yeah. I think every billionaire who isn't screaming about the fact that they shouldn't exist is a bad person. That's funny. MrBeast, I don't think he's really a billionaire yet, but yeah. I think MrBeast, if he ever becomes politically conscious, it's going to happen after he finally cashes out of YouTube. Probably, I guess. I don't know. I think he could do canvassing efforts, etc., that other small creators like Destiny have done that have actually helped promote social policies. What policies does Destiny promote? I don't know anything. I literally am a Destiny noob, so I would be curious to learn though. But he doesn't have to. It's just like it would be nice. It's like how it would be nice if billionaires actually did good shit. Destiny is a rocking fetard. Oh, why did I read that aloud? Shinsui Kiroraku. He gains nothing from leaning either way, but yeah, I can agree he should say basic obvious statements like, maybe I shouldn't have to cure blindness. Yeah, but he cares too much about what even someone stupid will think. Yeah, that's what I mean, Oriva, yeah. Like, the guy knows, like, even touching a toe into politics is, like, gonna fucking, you know, cause a big shitstorm, you know? Like, people all over the place are gonna be weighing in. I mean, maybe it's even good marketing to get political. That's how we need to frame it to MrBeast. Bro, it'll be great marketing. People will be shitting on you, but, like, your name will get... Anyway, MrBeast is the type of guy that he does want everybody to like him pretty much. He does. You know? Anyway. I think there's a lot of expectations and demands of this person that is already doing a lot and plans to continue to do more. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing though, Daisy. You have to like understand. Like, I'm not saying he needs to do this shit. It's literally a case where it's like, you know, if we're gonna try and push my friend Jimmy, in any direction, you know, what direction would we want to push him toward, right? Again, you can say, who the fuck are you to push it? I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy who's followed by MrBeast. Oh, shit. Politics makes things so ugly. That's why he doesn't get into it. He wants to be liked by everyone. Yeah, Rune Clawbear. I mean, there is a famous, I think, quote that says, like, if you want to be liked by everyone, then are you really anyone? Something like that. I don't actually know the quote. But yeah, okay. That's enough talking about Mr. Breast, my good friend and ally and colleague. Oh.